All right, so it's because there is fetal cardiac activity on your ultrasound, we're not able to continue through with the abortion process. Unfortunately, that stands true for the entire state of Texas as of September the 1st.
There's a patient who's getting an ultrasound and she's consented to have us listen in, but she's not able to have an abortion today because she has fetal cardiac tones. She's 9 weeks along, and so they're talking over potential plans for her to still get the procedure outside of Texas.
The option to continue forward with abortion process would be to be seen outside of the state. Of course, the other option is to continue with the pregnancy. And if you need us to give you referrals for that as well, we can definitely help you with either of those, of how you feel. It's a lot. Take a breath. Phew. It's a lot going on at one time. Tell me what you're thinking.
She sounds kind of despondent. She knows that she doesn't have a ton of options.
I keep telling people, watch the news. This thing is unfolding day by day at this point, so who knows? Maybe we get some relief here soon and we can continue forth. Thank you.
So sorry.
On September 1st, Texas enacted SB 8, the strictest abortion law in the United States. It outlaws abortion as early as 6 weeks into a pregnancy, before many people even realize they're pregnant. Roughly 85% of abortions in Texas take place after that point. Now, clinics must turn away desperate patients.
You can go ahead and have a seat and they'll call you in just a little bit. All right, thank you. Thank you.
You ready? Come on this way, guys. Let's get your sono done. That way, at least we know where we are, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna come on in here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sit this here. You're fine. There you go, you're good.
I'm going to be doing your ultrasound, okay? Mm-hmm. If we see any heartbeat whatsoever, we cannot proceed in the state of Texas, okay?
The law bans abortion once cardiac activity emerges, typically at around 6 weeks of pregnancy. But that's not exactly a heartbeat, because by that stage, the heart hasn't developed.
So did you just find out you were pregnant?
Yes.
Your endometrium looks pretty thickened. However, I don't see a gestational sac growing yet. So that, to me, tells me that you're probably less than 4 weeks, okay? I'd like to run a pregnancy test and see if you are pregnant.
I can't support 2, let alone go to work, do all that I need to do. I drove from Waco to come down here because they don't have any clinics that I could have seen to deal with this. But knowing that I have to go all the way over here just to do what I need to do is kind of like, it's hard. It's a lot. Yeah.
How often are you turning away patients at this point?
Way more than we would like to, for sure. I think since September the 1st, in one clinic alone in Texas, we've turned away 70 patients in a little less than a week. Even today alone, we've turned away 10 patients today.
How does that feel for you?
It's hard. It's devastating. Hi, Jasmine. I'm Marva. I'm the Director of Clinical Services. Coming in to talk to you a little bit about your chart. You're measuring at 6.1 weeks today, but we do see fetal cardiac activity on the ultrasound. So, as of September 1st in Texas, what that means is that you are ineligible to have an abortion in the state of Texas right now. Your next options would be traveling out of state to get the procedure done.
I didn't even know that I was pregnant. I kind of just took a test.
Wow.
Just to see what it would come out with, and I had a period.
I try really hard to be strong for them, but every patient that I've told no today is like a gut punch. I've had women fall on their knees and beg.
In the last week?
Yes, I've never had that before because I had something to offer before we got to that. I had a way out, or at least a hope that in a couple weeks we'll be able to knock this thing down.
I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome, Jasmine. Thank you. These patients, I'm absolutely losing hope for them.
My biggest fear was that it was gonna have a heartbeat, being that just a few days ago, it didn't. And because of the way the appointment scheduling are, it makes me think back to, had I just wanted to, take a test a few days earlier, maybe this could have been different. I'm 6 weeks and 1 day pregnant. I'm not ready to have another kid. I have 2 other little ones that I take care of by myself. So this kind of was very unexpected. Other forms of birth control failed me, and now it looks like I'm jumping through more hoops in order to keep our lives going.
What are those hoops going to look like for you?
Looks like now I have to go somewhere out of state. That means, more costs for me to get there. Babysitters, things along those lines, just so that I can keep my life as normal as possible. The fetus is only gonna get bigger and it's gonna be harder, and either way it goes, I feel like I'm hogtied. I don't want to live in Texas anymore. I feel like I can't make a decision for myself, for my body and my family. I feel like these decisions are being made for me, and I feel like I'm trapped.
Abortion clinics in states that neighbor Texas are already seeing a flood of Texan patients. But not everybody can afford to leave. Patients must be able to cover costs like childcare, hotels, gas. The people who make it out of state for an abortion will likely only be a fraction of those who want to. Texas didn't get here overnight. This law is the result of a decade-long, coordinated attack on Roe v. Wade, the 1973 Supreme Court decision that legalized abortion nationwide.
So 2 people can go down this side of the street, 2 people can go down this side of the street, and then everybody else can head up to the top, and we'll all loop around.
Hi, sorry to bother you. We're with a nonprofit called Standing With You. It's spreading awareness of the resources in your area.
The anti-abortion organization Students for Life is now trying to prepare people for the end of legal abortion. Their campaign includes a brochure about the unprecedented twist in the Texas ban. Everyday people can enforce it by suing anyone they suspect of aiding or abetting an illegal abortion, earning $10,000 in damages if they succeed. These activists' rhetoric simplifies complex science, but it's effective.
So because of those 4 principles, 96% of scientists and doctors agree that human life begins at conception.
Yeah, I'd probably say that once it's considered a human life, then that life has its own right to live.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'd probably say, yeah.
So would that completely change your mind if,
Well,
because
honestly, yeah.
all abortion would happen after conception,
Exactly,
right?
yeah. At that point, like you said, it is a human life, and even though it's not technically born yet, he or she will still has rights, to live. Yeah, I'd say that does change.
Wow.
My kind of stance on it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank y'all so much for coming by.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Take care.
Appreciate it all.
I'm shook. That's never played out. That was incredible.
What was your view on abortion before they knocked at your door?
Before, I felt, it's a woman's right to decide what they want to do with their body. As I said before, I wasn't too well informed about the whole process.
What do you think now that they've talked to you about abortion?
Well, now, since they kind of broke down the different stages of the pregnancy, my opinions kind of changed a little bit. They taught me that, when an unborn child is considered alive, when they can feel pain, when they have a heartbeat. So now I think there actually should be a kind of time frame in which women should be allowed to get abortions.
3, 2, 1.
Would you ever personally file a lawsuit if you thought that the law had been violated in some way?
I would. It's the same thing as if I saw somebody being beat up in the middle of the street, I would call the police or I would call some legal authority to come and help. And so in this way, the way that I could help and get the law involved would be through suing whatever entity would cause that abortion.
1, 2, 3.
Are you afraid of getting sued?
I am. But it's also a risk I'm willing to take. Because it's not fair. this is just not fair. And so I saw a young mother today with a baby on her hip. I'll take that risk for her. So I have to push forward through the fear. Whatever comes with it, comes with it. But as long as they're out there fighting against it, like somebody has to be on the inside to do the right thing. And I'm ready to be that person no matter what. Come right on in here and have a seat over there. All right. Well, I think I have what's good news. Your test is negative.
Okay.
So have you missed your period?
Yes, I haven't had it yet.
So I would definitely give it probably another week, maybe even 2 weeks.
Okay.
If you haven't had a period by then do another pregnancy test. I don't trust that home pregnancy test. I would say try it in a week, especially with what's going on with SB8, right? Especially what's going on with the law. Try again in a week and then try, if it's negative, still try again in 2 weeks. Breath. Woo. Woo. We can breathe. We'll breathe for the mama. We can breathe, little mama. We can take a breath, yeah.
A week later, Diana learned that she was pregnant. She is now trying to get an abortion. Since the success of the Texas ban, lawmakers in at least 4 states have suggested that they'd like their own version. The Supreme Court is also set to hear a case this December that could overturn Roe v. Wade.
So technically, Roe v. Wade is still the law of the land, at least for now. Do you feel like it's real?
No.
You don't feel protected by it whatsoever?
No.
It's just non-existent in this state?
Absolutely not.
How does that feel?
It's kind of like we're fighting for our own survival. I mean, women, and then especially women of color. It feels like it's just kind of like we're surviving, not really living, not really striving, and we don't have the support that we need, especially from our government, to thrive.
With the Supreme Court case coming out that could overturn Roe v. Wade, and with several other states thinking of enacting bans like Texas is, what kind of future do you think we're looking at?
It's so scary, right? I see a world where women die. It's very simple, right? Making abortion illegal or inaccessible doesn't mean it doesn't happen. History's shown us that already. So in an atmosphere where women are being attacked, where their very basic right is being stripped away from them piece by piece, state by state, senator by senator, governor by governor, there is a world of death out there for those women. Because a woman who does not want to be pregnant and or cannot handle another child will figure out how not to be. And when there are not legal and safe, accessible ways to do that, it becomes dangerous. And we will see women die. A woman is going to die because she's been denied her basic health care.